The aircraft hangar rested in a strange calm before the tension arrived. It wasn't the kind of storm that rattles steel doors or floods the runway, but the kind born when confidence collides with something unfamiliar. Soldiers moved through the space with effortless discipline, their low conversations blending into the familiar rhythm of duty. Then, a tall, broad-framed sergeant noticed the woman stepping inside and pointed openly, his voice rising so everyone could hear. "And who exactly are you supposed to be?" She paused, one foot still mid-step. A small dust-worn backpack hung from her shoulder, a thin folder tucked under her arm. Nothing about her suggested authority or power. She looked calm, quiet, almost forgettable. Yet the moment she stopped, the hangar seemed to inhale all at once. A few younger soldiers laughed under their breath. The sergeant folded his arms, wearing a smug grin, as if he'd already won. "This is a combat briefing," he said. "You sure you didn't wander into the wrong room?" She didn't react. She walked to the table, placed the folder down, slowly unzipped her bag, and lifted her eyes to meet his. There was no anger in them, only depth. Kind forged by hardships survived rather than avoided. "My name will make sense soon enough," she said softly. Her voice wasn't loud, but it carried through the hangar like an order. The laughter stopped. Even the sergeant's grin faltered, though he refused to retreat. He had no idea the woman before him was Captain Elise Rowan, brought in under sealed orders. Her service history buried so deep in classification that most of the military had never seen it. To these soldiers, she was a stranger. To the command that summoned her, she was the last answer to a mission already spiraling toward disaster. Still unaware, the sergeant pushed again. "This isn't clerical work, ma'am. This is real combat." Before Elise could respond, a commanding voice cut through the room. "That's enough." Every soldier snapped to attention as the division commander entered. His steps were measured, his expression unreadable. He stopped directly in front of Elise, raised his hand, and saluted sharply. "Ma'am, thank you for arriving on such short notice." Shock rippled through the hangar. The sergeant froze. Soldiers exchanged stunned glances. A few gasps broke the silence. Elise returned the salute with composed precision. The sergeant finally found his voice. "Sir, who is she?" The commander turned slowly, his gaze firm enough to quiet the room completely. "Sergeant, you are speaking to one of the most accomplished officers this force has ever produced. Her operational history is almost entirely classified. 8 off-record missions, 8 successes. And as of this moment, she outranks everyone standing here." The color drained from the sergeant's face. Elise looked at him briefly, not with resentment, but with a calm understanding that struck harder than anger ever could. She said nothing. She simply opened her folder and began the briefing as if the earlier exchange had never happened. The situation was dire. A special forces unit escorting humanitarian workers across a volatile border had gone silent. Intelligence indicated they were alive, but surrounded by hostile forces that neither negotiated nor showed mercy. Time was collapsing fast. Conventional reinforcements would alert the enemy. The only chance was a small, precise, higher-esque extraction net. Became clear why Elise had been called. She dissected terrain, studied enemy movement, identified weaknesses, and built a plan that balanced speed with survival. Her tone never wavered. Beneath her calm presence was a mind constantly adapting, reshaping chaos into clarity. Doubt faded. Confidence took its place. Sergeant Kane watched closely, discomfort tightening in his chest. Every question she asked was one he realized he should have considered first. Every decision revealed experience he might spend a lifetime chasing. When the briefing ended, Elise finally looked around the hangar. "I'm not here to replace anyone," she said. "I'm here because lives are on the line. We succeed together, or we fail together. Failure isn't an option." There was no ego in her words, only certainty. Preparation began immediately. Weapons were checked. Gear was secured. Communication lines lit up. Elise moved through the teams, quietly correcting with precision, guiding without raising her voice. She didn't demand respect. She earned it working beside them, not above them. Night fell. and the operation launched. Elise rode in the lead helicopter with Kane and 2 squad leaders. The blades thundered through the dark. Kane kept glancing at her, wrestling with guilt and admiration. Finally, he spoke. "Ma'am, about earlier." "You don't need to explain," she said calmly. "What matters is how we adjust." He swallowed. "I was wrong. Didn't know," she replied. "Now you do." "That's where growth starts." As they neared the extraction zone, night vision goggles revealed enemy fires and movement below. Elise guided every adjustment, timing angles, positioning with near and real precision. On the ground, the rescue unfolded like choreography. Shadows swallowed the team as threats were neutralized, and the trapped soldiers were reached, injured, exhausted, but alive. Elise knelt beside their leader, checking his pulse. "Didn't think anyone could reach us," he whispered. "You're safe now," she said. But the danger wasn't finished. Enemy patrols closed in. The escape route collapsed. Kane turned to Elise, fear rising. She assessed the terrain instantly. "Reroute through the ravine. It's unstable, but it gives us cover." "That path could give way," Kane warned, "and standing still guarantees." "We don't leave," she replied. They moved. Ah! The ravine shifted beneath them, rocks breaking loose. At one point, the ground gave way under Elise's foot. Kane lunged, grabbing her arm and pulling her back. "You all right, ma'am?" She nodded once. "Thank you. Keep moving." In that moment, respect became unshakable. She wasn't invincible, but she was unbreakable. They reached extraction seconds before gunfire erupted behind them. Helicopters lifted them into the night, carrying everyone clear. Back at base, gratitude replaced curiosity. Kane approached last. "I judged you by what I saw," he said quietly, "not by what you'd survived. You saved us." Elise placed a hand on his shoulder. Respect earned through action lasts longer than any rank. By morning, her leadership was known across the base. She asked for no recognition. She never did. No one ever questioned her presence again. Because now they understood. True strength doesn't announce itself. It shows up when doubt is loud to stand. Proves itself through courage, humility, and service when the world least expects it.